What's going on, guys? It's your boy M.I.C back in the building, back with another YouTube video. This time we're going to be talking about my top 5 requests for Tekken 8. When it comes to my top 5 requests for Tekken 8, I really have put a lot of thought into it. Some of this I've talked about in the good, bad, and the future of Tekken. But here we're going to hone in especially on the things that I want to see. And we're going to go into in-depth about those things and how they can be implemented and what I think that it will do to make Tekken 8 a better gaming experience for all participants, whether casual or pro players. First and foremost, we're going to talk about the topics and then we're going to give a little in-depth overview of each topic as we go into it. But before you do all of that, please make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you hadn't already done so you can get many more videos like the one that you're about to partake of currently. Okay, let's jump right into it. So for the 5 things that I would request to be in Tekken 8, the first one would be punish throws. I spoke about this in a previous video where I talked about the good, bad, and the future of Tekken 8, but here I'm going to give you a better understanding of punish throws and why I think they need to be in the game. The next thing that I think needs to really be in the game is a more robust customization system. One, unlike what they had in Tekken 7. They did okay in Tekken 7, but there have been other things implemented over the years that I think that will work better, and we're going to go into discussion about that. As well as a return of the team battle format. This is a mode that used to be in Tekken and no longer is there. So I'm going to go into why I think that mode would be a great addition to Tekken 8. As far as the next thing is going to be a fun mode, or as you could call it, maybe like a Mishima playground, Namco Funland. Something of that sort, where basically you can have a lot of mini games, and we're going to go into this discussion about what kind of mini games I think would be good for the Tekken system and the ecosystem overall of the game and the player base. And then finally, we're going to talk about the online component and the things that I think that they could use that maybe could be tweaked that we haven't seen in Tekken before. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. For our very first item up for discussion, we're going to talk about punishing throws. And what do I mean by punishing throws? Well, punishing throws, if you play any other fighting games or most fighting games, when a person is too negative to block or too negative to escape a throw, the throw then becomes guaranteed, right? Well, in Tekken, that is not the case. In Tekken, while most throws are 12 frames or faster, you will find that if a character is negative 12 or 15 or even 20, if you grab them, they will always be able to break the throw. So it was, in my opinion, that they should make that be a thing that is universally applicable, and that you should make it where a person, if they can't block, they cannot break the grab. Now, why would I say that? Well, first and foremost, I think that it is going to be a very easy and consistent punisher for all characters on the roster. You know, everyone has pretty much the same regular grab animation. So if characters don't have the best punishers at maybe 12 frames, 13 frames, 14 frames, they can, instead of going for, you know, a weak punisher, they could go for a grab. And that will therefore even the playing field across the entire game. All normal grabs do the same damage. Also, point number 2 is that this will make grabs be more useful because as of right now, the way they are set up, it's kind of like they're not very useful. You know, at the top level, at the most highest echelon of Tekken play, you rarely get to see grabs get pulled off because everyone's breaking throws, right? So would it not be that much more enticing to throw if you know they can't break it, right? It'll give you something for the players to use that they don't have now as a fundamental tool to use. Also, it gives the onlookers something to look at. They get to see these throws that they never get to see. And, you know, the animators aren't just animating things for no reason. Because right now, that's kind of what it seems like. They're just animating things for no reason. Nobody ever getting thrown, especially by regular throws. So rare, you know, you might see it once or twice in competition. And then finally, it adds to the layers of punishment and depth of the game, right? Take in, for instance, you know, if somebody does something to you and your back is to the wall, your Punisher might attack them and it might hit them and give you frame advantage, but your back is still to the wall, right? Well, wouldn't it be so much better if possibly I could do a grab that then puts my opponent's back to the wall because they did something unsafe? Now this puts a new mind game on, you know, the way people are attacking and the punishment for doing so and which punishers you want to use. And like I said, it is an easy command. It's something that is already part of the game that is very accessible. And it would just be another layer that can fundamentally change the way the game works while keeping it pretty much fundamentally the same, right? It's fundamentally the same with a slight tweaking on things that may have not been the case in the past. So that is the first thing that I think that would really, really, really put a new life into Tekken 8, and would be very well received, I think, by most, if they really gave it, you know, the proper balancing and do like I expect the Tekken team to do. Probably come out, sort some things out, maybe even having to slow some throws down. You know, there will be some touch-ups here and there, but I think overall that would be a great addition to the game Tekken. Now, secondly, the number 4 thing on the list, or the second item we're going to talk about on the list, more robust customization. Now, when I say more robust customization, I'm talking about things like this, like having the ability to do the decal customization that they had in Tekken Tag 2. This would allow you to make all kind of custom outfits. You could make like Marvel characters. You could make pretty much anything, really. And as long as you were creative, it really, really allowed you to shine in your custom mode. It really allowed you to show your personality in the way you wanted to customize your character. I thought that was a very, very good thing. That's probably the only thing I liked about Tekken Tag 2, and I didn't even really like Tekken Tag 2 at all. But I thought that was very, very unique for Tekken customization, and I would like them to bring that back. Another thing that I think that would be excellent is if they had like a base group of customizations, right? So what do I mean by the base group of customizations? Like basically like a general list of customs that you could choose from that could be put on every single character, right? And when you first get the game, this would just be available. This would be what your customization will be that you can choose from. It would not be character specific. You know, it might be like a t-shirt. It might be hairstyles. Being able to just change the hairstyle limbs. You know, do things where they are generic, but you do have a lot of editability with inside of the custom itself, even though it's generic. Now, you might ask yourself, like, Mike, what about my own character? Like, I want character specific stuff. I play King, so I understand. Like, King don't get the opportunity to rock with all of the customs that everybody else gets to rock with. Okay, he's got a big Jaguar mask on. It's gonna look crazy. You put a Mr. Pringle's mustache on him, he gonna look nuts. All right, you put a wig on him, he gonna look crazy. All right. So what about those characters that should have their own special thing? What about that uniqueness? Well, it comes to the third point, which is I think that they should make those items be locked behind a fight money, not real money. Okay, let's keep it understood, by a fight money shop where you can pick for those characters. You can get their own customizations, or you can do this by having it where you get fight money from playing online or various modes. Even if you have treasure battle where it only unlocks that character's special customs, right? You want to give people a reason to have to play these modes and make fight money worth something, but also give them access to the ability to customize the character right out of the box. And that means that they have both the ability to attempt to make something that they want to make, and then earn the things that they want to earn. Okay, and therefore it very much makes the customized system a whole lot more well-rounded in its approach. I did like that they unlocked everything in 2,000 matches on Tekken 7, but I think that maybe you could still kind of have something like that, but I don't think it would be necessary if you give people a base roster of generic things that they can add to any character, and just give them a plethora of them, right? They just things that are good, but they're not character specific. Now coming to our third point is going to be the return of team battle. Yes, team battle. For my third request, I hope that they return team battle mode. For those of you who are not familiar with team battle mode, basically each player gets to choose up to 8 characters, and of the 8 characters, they go head to head with one another until one team is fully eliminated. Now, how did they go about this process? Basically, it was 1 round per match. Team A's first character versus Team B's first character. They would go head to head. The winner would stay, and the loser would be eliminated. The second person on Team B would then come up to play the winner from Team A. Team A's winner would have a lowered health bar, pretty comparable to where they left off in the fight, maybe with a little bit of extended regen. And outside of that, they just went back and forth until one of the 2 teams was eliminated. Now, why would I want this? Well, first and foremost, it's been in every Tekken since Tekken 2. All right, it's a classic mode. All right, but I don't want them to just bring the mode back. I want them to do something a little more extensive, right? I want them to allow for an online team battle mode. All right, having an online team battle lobby will open up the doors for a lot of things. All right, it will open up the ability to have online team tournaments that would be very accessible. Team battle mode is a very fun mode just in general. I think that it's something that many people really missed out on Tekken 7. People were clamoring for it, those who have been old fans of the series, and those who did not have it or never played Tekken team battle mode, they don't even know that they're missing out on some great times. Another thing that I think if they do bring it online, they should allow you to have the ability to change the settings. Now, what do I mean by this? I think maybe they should be able to add like round counts and set counts, so that if I want to go in there with a team battle and I want to set it up for 1 round, or maybe just these different modes, like traditional mode, where it's 1 round and the first character that wins against this, Team A's A character versus Team B's A character. If they go head to head, whoever wins, that's it. And they play one round, and then they get a little bit of health regen. You could take it that route. Or if you were able to do something a little different, like, oh, I want to have 3 rounds to be played, right? And so then there's like each character gets a set. And then you could also set the sets, like, oh, we're going to do 2 out of 3. So does it re-up this group and they come back to the top? And it's still basically the same thing. One person stays on until they lose. But then that would make a lot of things a lot easier. I know there are a lot of innovative tournaments that people want to have online. And it's just cool to even have if you got a lot of good friends. And I know here at the TKN House, we got tons and tons of people that come around here all the time. And it would be just a very good mode to have both offline and online, as well as allowing spectating, so that in that lobby, if you did want to run a tournament with it, it'd be easy to move about. And I just think that would be something that is dearly missed and would be a great addition to Tekken 8. My 4th request, or number 2 on the list, is a Namco Funland or Mishima Playground, whatever they wanted to call it, right? Now, what would this really consist of? Well, if possible, and this might be a little bit too much, I might be stretching it a bit, right? Because I know that Tekken already got issues in this area, but how about they have a classic Tekken arcade game cabinet where you could play Tekken 1 through 6, and there would be online functionality, so you could play against other people. And this would be just in a whole nother separate portion of the game. It could just be a menu where they have, Tekken Funland, and you go to Tekken Funland. It's like an amusement park. If you remember on Tekken 3, for you avid Tekken players from way back, old schoolies, where Xiao Yu wanted to have like her own little theme park. Well, Heihachi had turned it into his theme park. But you could do something kind of themed like that in the spirit of and honoring of Heihachi Mishima, who will likely not be on the game according to the story. And you could have like each one of these ideas be like a different portion of the Funland, right? Classic Tekken arcade games could be like the arcade section. And I think that would be pretty cool to have online functionality, playing Tekken 1 versus each other, Tekken 2, Tekken 3, Tekken 4 even. Tekken 4, nobody will act like that game is even part of the series, but that would be great in my opinion. That would be something great to add in as a bonus to the casual player, or somebody who's of the old school who wants to just go back to those nostalgic feelings, and really wants to compare, like, how's the old games in comparison to the new games. I think that what also would be very dope is if they had a co-op Tekken Force mode. Now, in Tekken 6, I believe you could do co-op, but it was offline. If they had an online co-op Tekken Force mode, that would be excellent. People have also been begging for Tekken Force to come back. It's one of the most beloved, modes in all of the series. Right? They had it in Tekken 4. They had it in Tekken 3. They had it in Tekken 6, I want to say. And it's never let anybody down. Everybody loves it. They even had like a Devil Within mode, but that was on Tekken 5. We won't talk about that too much. All right. I would even say just make a small campaign, or even if they did something like this, make it like a 16-bit, 8-bit beat 'em up side scroller, kind of like Streets of Rage or Final Fight or something. It doesn't have to be anything major. If any of you have played maybe the new Ninja Turtle remake, how about checking that out? Put something like that in the game where people can jump in, and it could be co-op, maybe even up to 4 players jumping in online. Just giving it something. It could be just a little small campaign, maybe anywhere from like 4 to maybe 8 small stages, 6 small stages. Just something to represent the brand, something to represent Tekken, but also to represent that Tekken Force that everybody misses, that everybody loves. And even if you have got to put a new spin on it, I think that that would be pretty dope. Obviously, a music, a video, and a pick gallery, which is typically always in Tekken. So I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that'll be there, but I would just hope that that would be something that does not get left, that doesn't get left out, or that, yeah, does not get left out. Here's something interesting. If you played Tekken Tag 2, there's a character named Combat. Now in Tekken 4, this character made their debut, and Combat basically was Mokujin. And for those of you who don't know who Mokujin is, it's a character that is basically randomly generates which move list this character is going to have from round to round. Well, Combat, what he did was he generated which character you're going to be from match to match. So if you were Ling Xiao Yu's move list, you were Ling Xiao Yu's move list the entire fight. But when Tekken Tag 2 came along, they added an element where you could put various moves on Combat, and you could fight with moves from different characters. And so in this mode, I would think it would be pretty dope to have like a create a character type mode where it's, you know, Combat's Corner or something like that. And you could basically put your moves and build up your Combat. You could play against the computer or play against other players via online or offline. And this would be something for, you know, very casual players who want to just get in and want to play some Tekken, see what kind of crazy stuff they can come up with. I think that that would be something that would just be fun, and, you know, it would be extra content that would actually be valuable content in, you know, some setting, and it doesn't necessarily have to be just in the competitive setting. Also, I wish that they would add like a world of mini games, and in these mini games they are fun and creative ways to help newcomers with more advanced tactics and techniques that are part of the game. So an example of this would be like Kazuya and Jin, and maybe you have them on a split screen, one up top, one below, and you have only the input of a crouch dash or a wave dash, and you have like a race where they race from one side and they have to race back to the other side, and they can only input the wave dash motion to move forward. And what this would do is, like, over time, it'll teach the players, like, oh, if I want to win this race, I'm going to get used to, you know, doing the forward, down, down, forward, forward, down, forward. Like, I will get used to that motion. And because I have to race both forward and back to my position that I started in, it'll teach me how to do it very well on both sides. And the whole time, I'm doing this racing, not thinking to myself, like, oh, I just want to know how to wave dash. But that would be what it would be teaching me in a underlined type of way. Also, one of the things I was thinking about with all of these modes, you can have the fight money. So when we talked about the customizations earlier, that you would be able to get those special customizations for your character, these would be other ways you could play these modes and collect little fight money for them. And it would go towards your fight money that you can go buy your favorite characters outfits, specialty outfits. And that way, it's not that you just have to only grind online or only have to play against the computer in some arcade mode that, you know, probably can get repetitive and tasking, and probably not always going to be the most fun, because, you know, the computer is only going to be able to be so competitive. It's either going to make that junk like Mortal Kombat 2, where it's impossible to beat, or it's going to be so easy to beat, you're going to basically get tired of it real fast. So I think that those would be something that would be dope to add in, or something like a Dance Dance Revolution type input style game, where, you know, maybe if you want to practice like Korean backdash, maybe they'll have Korean backdashing types of inputs that you have to put in, and you have to put them in on time, and maybe it speeds up with the song tempo. Or maybe if you want to like learn King's multi-throws, right? And maybe there's like button presses to help you learn the King multi-throws, or learn like Nina's multi-throws. It can be any various number of things that they could add in there, program in there, and, you know, have it associated with like music or dance or whatever. And that would help people get used to doing rhythmic timings, maybe just frames, you know, just different things that they could put in there that would get people more used to understanding those little advanced mechanics in the game, and will probably even get them to want to be more intrigued about learning further portions of the game that may not be in those modes, right? Also, they could have something like a throw break contest or like a throw break trainer. You can go head to head against somebody else online, or, you know, if they want to do a leaderboard, and basically you just do throw breaks and have different characters do different kinds of throws. And basically, you know, you go head to head. The first person gets thrown, they lose a round, right? Then you do the first to 3 rounds. The winner, you know, the winner wins and they get the fight money, and the other person loses, they get less fight money or no fight money, you know, however else they want to do that. You can even have like a ranking system on it for throw break master, right? Just some different ideas to throw out there. Maybe, you know, if you get so many throw breaks, you know, you go up the leaderboard, somebody done broke 150 throws in a row. You know, just something that would be interesting. And like I said, for the casual player, this is just a mode to like try to achieve some stuff and win some money, like an easy way to get fight money and stuff, right? Little do they know, it's teaching them how to break throws so that they will be proficient when they go to play the actual game. Like, I think that these are just ideas that I have that would be pretty useful. So you can see I kind of put a lot of thought process into our number 2, or, you know, our 4th idea that we're proposing. Also, classic modes like Tekken Ball or Tekken Bowling, or new idea, never before done. Have like a 16-bit Mario Kart style racing, with like maybe like 4 tracks and a little one small circuit. Just something fun that has nothing to really do with fighting. It's just another extension of the brand. And I think that would be pretty dope, you know, to have everybody racing. And, you know, it may be a little extra, a little much, right? I don't know about on the programming side how difficult that would be, but I think that would be pretty dope, you know. And like I said, it doesn't have to be high graphical quality. You know, make it like what's that, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Just make it in that animation style, and let folks know, just like Mario Kart. Like, make it like old school Mario Kart style with Tekken characters. You know, that would be pretty dope. I think a lot of people would enjoy that, and it would just be, like I said, another thing that makes people want to come to the game and play the game, not just for Tekken, right? Because ideally, when the game developer makes a game, they want you to be on their game all day long for as long as possible. And if you give all these different options that they can choose from, I'm telling you, some people might not even be playing the Tekken. You know, like, they might be playing the mini games if you make them good enough. And I think that would be something that would make this game stand out above any other Tekken, obviously, and stand out amongst all the competitors. Street Fighter did a whole lot. And I think that this would blow that out of the water. We got MK1 that hasn't came out as of me talking at this point. But, you know, I'm sure MK is known for having a lot of content, but nothing like this, I'm sure. And now for our number 1 thing. Number 1, or the 5th idea being proposed here, is going to be online. And of course, the first thing is the netcode. Hope the netcode can be substantially better than what it was on Tekken 7. Obviously, to even have any of the prior things to exist, the netcode has to be good across the board. I think that that's the number 1 thing. We want the netcode to be as superb as possible. After playing the CNT, I do think that it is far better than Tekken 7, but there still are some janky in areas here and there. As far as the lobbies, I want them to be able to have a higher number of members in the lobby. You know, I think if you play Tekken has maybe 6 is the maximum amount. And you play Street Fighter 6, I think you can have up to like 12 or 16 people in a room. So I think that's very interesting. Maybe they can find a way, especially with the team battles. Going back to the team battles, if you can expand on the amount of people that can be in a lobby, That would be pretty dope. You know, if it's like a hub system, however they would like to do it, I think that would be pretty dope. Um, I think that they should have high plugging penalties, right? But there's a caveat here. That is only because I'm not very savvy on this end of how programming and computing works, and the online infrastructures work. But if they can tell the difference between someone closing app versus like just a communication error where my hardware is a little bit better than your hardware, or your hardware is a little bit better than my hardware, and therefore it drops us out. Like if they could tell the difference between those, I think that then they should institute higher penalties, like very high penalties. Like maybe you lose a whole rank for plugging, right? And then you got to work your way back up, you know, or like half a rank worth of points. Like something that is going to deter people from just plugging. And also not keeping the files, you know, local. Like, why would you make it local where I could just put my own rank up there? I think that that is probably not the wisest idea either, you know. Also, as far as the replay system goes, this is not a must because you can kind of do this already with, I know with the PlayStation hardware, you could just kind of do this if you want to all to yourself. But every time that they got a new patch or a new season came out, you always had to delete all of your replays. So in my mind, I was thinking like, why don't they just have something where you could just download the replays directly onto the console or the computer that you're using as an option, right? That way you'll never have to lose that stuff. I know you kind of already have that. If you wanted to on the PlayStation, you could play your match and then record it back. But it would be nice if it did have that as an option already built into the game. Not really too tough on that one. Like that's here or there, you know, that one is probably the least of all of the things on here. That one could just go right out the window if they wanted to, but it's an idea. And finally, something that I don't understand why I've never seen it in any fighting game. They should allow you to prestige your rank. For those of you who are not familiar with prestiging a rank, if you play games like Call of Duty, I know at least back in the past, once you got to the highest rank, you could say, okay, I'm going to reset my rank. But in doing so, I'll get this special badge to let you know, like, hey, I'm going to first key you, but I'm going to first key you A1, right? And that means I've already ranked all the way past Tekken God Prime. Now I'm going for a second run of it. And maybe you could prestige maybe like 2 or 3 times. And I know it myself in Tekken 7. Once I got up to Tekken God Prime, I hardly even went on rank anymore. And then when they finally came out with a new rank, I was like, I mean, what is one extra rank? I don't even need to get to Tekken God Omega. What's the point? Like, it's not going to prove anything to me, right? I'm going to go up 1 extra rank, and I'm going to be sitting here until Tekken 8 roll out. So it was really like, there was no need to do so. I think that if you were to still do it where you could do it by character, so you could prestige not just one time, or you wouldn't make it to Tekken God Prime and everything's Tekken God Prime. You'd still be able to have each character move up and move up. And once you got to Tekken God Prime, you know, it would cut off your ability to move up the rest of the characters automatically. Then you would just have to, you know, move them up on your own, you know, as it now, I believe in Tekken 7, it allows you, if you go to Tekken God Prime, it moves everybody up to Emperor, I believe. Y'all can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong about that, but I do think that allowing you to prestige, and maybe even if you lock special customs behind prestiging, right? You know, like, oh, let's say if I got King and King's got a, I don't know, the Al-Qaeda robe outfit, right? And say, hey, if you get to Tekken God Prime, what we're going to do is, if you prestige, we're going to allow you to get that outfit. Now, some people might not be cool with that. Some people might be cool with that. But I'm just thinking of ways to give you an incentive to keep playing once you've maxed out, you know, at the top of the ranks, because like if I'm a character specialist, right, like myself, I'm a character specialist. When I get all the way up there with King, I don't have a desire to get up there with Oscar. Like, I don't care about no damn Oscar. You know, Oscar could be a first King for all I care. I don't give a damn. I'm playing King, right? Now, I know it may give you the incentive to maybe play with other characters, but I'm trying to hone my skill with the particular character that I am accustomed to playing. Most people are like that are character specialists, right? So I think that this would just give them a way to continue to press forward with their character and keep attaining these levels, and see if they can max the character all the way out, right? That's it for my list. I hope that these things were insightful. I don't know if you enjoyed what you heard. If you have some ideas, make sure that you comment in the comment section below. I always try to check and read every comment that comes in. Also, make sure you hit the subscribe and make sure that you hit the notifications, okay? This has been my little input on this. I hope that you all enjoyed yourself, and till next time, you know what it is. Realm of the real, only the real can chill. Peace.